So in conclusion, that the rulers of today, the Muslim rulers of today, the Prophet ﷺ forbade rebellion against them. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith on the authority of Hudayf ibn al-Yaman, collected by Imam Muslim in his Sahih, where the Prophet ﷺ said that you will have rulers over you, and they will not follow my sunnah, they will not follow my guidance, and they will be amongst them men who have the hearts of devils in the bodies of human beings. So Hudayfa said to the Prophet ﷺ, what should I do if I was to reach that time? So the Prophet ﷺ said, hear and obey the Amir, even if he beats you in your back and he takes your wealth, hear and obey. So here we find the sunnah of Allah's Messenger ﷺ with regard to the Muslim rulers, that even if they are tyrannical, hearts of devils in the bodies of men, the Prophet ﷺ did not command with rebellion. Rather, the Prophet ﷺ called him the Amir, even with these 5 characteristics. Don't follow the sunnah, don't follow the guidance, hearts of devils, beat you in your back, take your wealth. Even with these 5 characteristics, the Prophet ﷺ said, hear and obey the Amir. In one narration, the Prophet ﷺ said, if one of you sees something from your ruler that he dislikes, then let him not speak out in public. Don't speak out against him in public. Rather, take him by his hand into seclusion and then speak to him and advise him. But the shahid in the hadith, or the witness of this hadith reported in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, and the hadith is sahih, that the Prophet ﷺ said, do not speak out against him in public. Do not publicly reproach the Muslim rulers. And likewise Usama bin Zayd, when the people came to him and they said, why don't you speak about Uthman? Why do you speak concerning Uthman? He said, Wallahi, I will speak to him and advise him when there is no one present except for me and him. Why? Because he knew the sunnah. And he said, Wallahi, I will not speak out in public, for indeed I do not wish to open a door that was never opened before me. So speaking publicly against the rulers was not a door that was opened by the companions. Even if they are oppressive, even if they are sinful. And upon this there is consensus. There is one hadith that the people of Takfir, and those who ascribe themselves to jihad, the jihadists, right? They go to ghulu in the issue of jihad. They believe that it is the very foundation of the Islamic religion, like a 6th pillar. This is what they believe, the way that they talk about Khilafah, as if nothing else is more important than the Khilafah. There's a hadith that they keep rotating around. They say that the Prophet ﷺ, when he mentioned the rebellion, when the Prophet ﷺ mentioned the evil of the rulers, and at the end of the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he commanded them not to fight the Muslim rulers, and not to fight them, up until you see from them kufran bawaha, up until you see from them the clear, open kufr, for which you have a proof from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The hadith in Bukhari, that you have from Allah a burhan, from Allah Jalla wa ala, a clear evidence. So they say, look, so we have seen from these rulers that they are kuffar, so we can't treat them like Muslims, we must remove them. We say that even this hadith, look at their misunderstanding. Analyze the hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, up until you see, hatta taraw, up until you see. So it is something that must be seen, clear. Secondly, that the Prophet ﷺ said that it is kufran bawaha, clear, open disbelief. It is not open to ta'wil, not open to be suspicious about it. Something clear and open, clear-cut kufr, over which there is no dispute. Not, well, I think, and I believe, and I reckon, and I think that he shook his hand with the American president, so that makes him a kafir. This is all ta'wil and tahrif and deviation. Something clear-cut. As Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah said, that a person enters into Islam with certainty. What's that certainty? The shahadatain. the kalima la ilaha illallah. So he enters into Islam with yaqeen. And he does not leave Islam except with yaqeen. So where's the certainty? So that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, up until you see something clear, kufr and bawaha, first thing that you see, it is known. Secondly, that the kufr is a clear-cut kufr, over which there is no dispute. Thirdly, that you have a burhan from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning, what? That the evidence has been established upon that individual. Iqamatul hujjah. Not that a person, like some of the people believe, that I saw him committing kufr, so he's a kafir, I'm going to kill him. And this is the root of that. This is what Osama bin Laden is upon. This is what Zawahiri is upon. This is what Abu Muhammad al-Maqdisi is upon. Isam al-Barqawi. This is what he's upon. This is what Abu Qatada is upon. This is what Abu Hamza al-Misri is upon. This is what Umar Bakri Muhammad is upon. This is what all of these individuals are upon. That they hold that the rulers have committed kufr as this clear sun in the sky. And Osama bin Laden himself made a statement to that effect, even before 9/11, about the Saudi rulers and about all of the Muslim rulers. So we say, where is the kufr that you see? Where is the proof that this is kufr, major kufr, over which there is no dispute amongst Ahlul Sunnah? No dispute whatsoever. Thirdly, have you mentioned or have you established the iqamatul hujjah? What do you say if I was to ask you, and we'll finish upon this. What were you to say if I was to say to one of you, that a man in the desert, he said, a Muslim, he said, "Oh Allah, you are my slave, and I am your Lord." Muslim or kafir? Kafir? Muslim? What is he? He said, "Anta abdi wa ana rabbuk." You are my slave, Allah, and I am your Lord. Is the statement kufr or not kufr? Let's start with that. Is it clear kufr or there's a doubt? Clear. We are the ibad of Allah. Allah is not our abd. Anyone who believes that Allah is their servant, then he's a kafir. There's no dispute, no ta'wil. Right? So a person who makes that statement, then the statement is clear kufr akbar, bawaha. No dispute. So why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala smile at him? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was pleased with him when he said it? Hadith in the Sahih, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that there was a man that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who loves, that Allah Jalla wa Ala is pleased with forgiving people. And then he mentioned the qissa of a man who was out in the desert with his caravan, with his camel, with all of the supplies upon the camel. And then as he rested for a while, that he didn't notice that the camel ran away, fled from him. So now he's in the middle of the desert. What's he going to do? No water, no supplies, no camel. What's he going to do, miskin? So he just sat down and waited for death to come upon him. So he sat with his head down. And then he looked up, and there's the camel in front of him. What did he say? He said, "Ya Allah, oh Allah, Anta abdi wa ana rabbuk." With extreme joy, as the Prophet said, because of his joy, he mixed up his words. Is he a kafir? Not a kafir. Allah was pleased with him.